Yeah, happy lockdown, Imo State. Please, this is a quick one. I want to briefly say something. Um, why many prayers are not answered? Why many? I know some will object, some will attack me, but that is their own problem. It doesn't concern me. I have been in some places of worship where people submit prayer points against their neighbor, against their sister, against somebody owing them, and they will write it in a way that the church will be moved to pray against those people. And at the end of prayer, the people you prayed against are even doing. Now, let me tell you something about fair hearing. I was somewhere, yesterday or thereabout, I was somewhere. A man brought in a complaint about his brothers. The way he presented the case, that he began to cry. And the church was moved by his tears. And many decreed judgment against the family of the man. Many decreed, because the way the man presented the issue, the people were moved with emotion, and so they rained judgment against that family. And I didn't join because I have not heard from the family. I didn't hear. In fair hearing, you don't listen to one party, whether in the church, in the court, even in the shrine. If you take somebody to a shrine, to any deity, no matter what you complain, they will send for the person to come. If you go to, I don't know, but if you go to any deity, from what we watch from Nigerian film and from my experiences in the prophetic and all that, if you report your brother to any deity that is taking your land or that he took your land, you report your brother to any deity that he took your wife, they will send for him to come. They want to hear his own part of the story. And in some cases, it is not what you say, because it's not the first person to go to police that wins the case in a developed country, not in Nigeria anyway, though sometimes it happens. So that you brought a prayer point in the church and people were praying, it doesn't mean it will be answered, because God is righteous and fair. God is holy. He doesn't kill an innocent man, no matter who brought the prayer point. So if you're a pastor and somebody brought you a complaint about someone, say he's dealing with me, pray against him. Don't pray. Invite the person to come. Two of them should sit down and talk about it. Then you cannot deduct a judgment. Don't just waste your prayer. Because you see all these brethren, they can put you into sin. They can present a case in the church, in the prayer point, and the whole church will fall into error. He took my land from me. He took my husband's land. He took my house from me. Have you heard from the person what happened? Because some of these people bringing the prayer point, they are even the guilty ones. But they will not tell you, because nobody condemns himself except a man that have thoroughly been sanctified. Before you search yourself and be free. I have gotten instances. Some people will tell you, my brothers, my husband's brothers, they are saying, since my husband died, they say I will not live in this family. Since my husband died, they have taken all our house. Yeah. And when you call his brothers and sit them down and sat this woman down and listen to the two of them, this is a very bad woman. Unrespectful, dishonoring them. How do you want people you dishonor to favor you? You don't pray because somebody put you under emotions. You must carry out investigation. If the church should carry out investigation, not be the first person that pray that God answers you. That you are the first one to submit prayer point doesn't mean that God will answer you. He is the God of fairness. He is the God of equity. Even your prayer against a sinner cannot be until God thoroughly look at the case, because the sinner was also made by him, which he died for them on the cross. Sometimes if in the church, they say anybody that is say you will not prosper, Let him die. It's a very good prayer. Let him die. And then you remember your uncle. Say he should die. Remember somebody that have one issue with you. The person will die. People are praying. People are praying. In some cases, you are the cause. Okay, what if in the case you are now 40? What happened to the prayer point you did? It will return to you now. It will return back to you. Fair hearing. In the 21st century church, we are operating one-eared church. We operate one-eared church where you pass judgment on someone without hearing from him. One ear. Where a pastor, where a subordinate, where a king or thereabout, we sat on his throne and we pass judgment against someone you have not listened to because somebody came and presented a romantic case to you. Someone came and brought all the lies, cooked them together, and they become lie noodles. Someone fed you with lie noodles, and after eating the lie noodles, you pass your prayer, you pass your judgment, you pass your degree without hearing from the other side. If the church must go back to prayer effectiveness, the church must have the culture of fair hearing. You must have the culture of fair hearing. Don't pray on the basic of one ear. Don't pray on hearsay. Don't pray on gossip. Don't pray on a flying news. Nigeria is full of flying news. Don't pray based on what you saw on the internet or what you saw on Facebook. Don't pray on what you saw on Instagram and becomes a prayer point. You begin to rain power, the abuse of glory. You must develop fair hearing. See me, no matter what you talk about somebody. If it's somebody I cannot approach, or you talk about one how somebody is evil in America, I don't take it. If I can be able to approach the person, look at what I heard about you. Can you come? Or are you come? Sit down. Or I say it again. They talk, be at round table. Hear this one, hear this one. Let me tell you, if you take a case to any deity, maybe Adosho Okeja or Amadioha, and then you submit your application, my brothers took my land, fight for me. They will give you a letter, or they will send the letter to that your brothers to come, and they will come to the shrine, and then they will invite you also. They say, complain again, and you will complain. They will ask the brothers what happened, and the brothers will also lay their own complaint, and it will be judged. Then in the case where the case is unjudgeable, then they bring in the deity and you swear. Are you with me? And even if you invite your brothers and they didn't come up, the deity or the shrine will give them privileges of 1 week. We send them again, second time, third time, fourth time, to the fourth time to answer the call. Then if they refuse to come, that means they're having a backup. Then the war begins. Whatever you see all these deity do, they learn it from God. That is fair hearing with God. That's why sinners are still roaming around, because there has not been fair hearing. If you are praying against someone you have not accosted, people pray out of bitterness, pray out of jealousy, pray out of envy. They are wasting your time. Bible says you pray and receive not, because you pray out of envy, you pray amiss, you pray that you may consume the prayer in your loss. You can boast. Yes, I said it. Once you made the prayer and your motive is wrong, that prayer is cancelled. Because whenever sin enters a prayer point, it's cancelled. Whenever sin enters a prayer point, that prayer is no longer effective. Fair hearing. Even if somebody told you about someone or about a friend, please don't hate the person until you hear from the person. Don't hate from the person until you hear from the person. One of the ways you can maintain your heart, maintain your conscience, is by developing the culture of fair hearing. That's why God gave you 2 ears, gave you 2 eyes. Even the nose has 2 cavities. You don't just listen from one place, one ear, and begin to pray or begin to detour your conclusion. You must listen over time. If your brother must sin against you 70 times 7, before you get angry. Then you have to listen 70 times 7. You have to confirm what you had 70 times 7 before you can deduct your conclusion. Don't just pray because somebody complained to you, or because you sense something, or because your mind spoke to you and they became a prayer point, and you come to church and publish it, and the ignorant followers are shouting, they are praying, and you have not heard from the other party. You have not heard from the other person concerned. This is a general illness that many people are facing in the church, across denominations, political gatherings. Somebody told you about a governor and you have not even inquired. You said he's an evil man. Somebody told you about somebody. From what you heard, you now concluded. Where is the fair hearing? If God kill you like this, you will not survive now, because devil accuse you before God. Every Bible says he's the accuser of brethren. He accuses us morning, day, and night. Then God did not allow you to die, because God is a fair hearing God. God is full of fair hearing. If any pastor that have the culture of fair hearing, his prayers are always powerful. Forget about fasting is good, prayer is good, giving is good. All these things are wonderful. But fair hearing is what stands you out in the realm of knowledge. Don't suspend anybody without hearing from the person over time. That one pastor complained to you and one man just came to you and talked. Then you took it because the person is in the... Don't you know leaders also lie? Nobody takes matter into consideration and implementation without hearing. Even in the law courts, when you take somebody to the court for any judgment, there must be fair hearing. They will send for the person to come. The person comes or answers, and then the court, you bring lawyer, I bring lawyer, we sit on the matter, we question ourselves, the judge looks at it, and then deduct the truth. Physical things are shadow of the spiritual things. Are you with me? Physical things are shadow of spiritual things. Your husband complained to you of somebody. Believe your husband, but please make your findings. Your wife, these are the departments that can kill a man. You see wife, you see husband, you see children, you see partner, this time. If you don't be careful, you see congregation, church. When somebody write prayer point as a coordinator to you to pray, investigate the prayer point before you release a bomb in your church. You say, because they know I have nobody, that's why they are fighting me. Let God kill them. Let God fight them. Who is fighting you? Who is fighting you? And then the church will say, let us command the family, fire. Yeah, that's why after prayers, nothing happened. Because between you and them, who is killing each other? I have seen matters. Sometimes you say, sister, let's go to your family and inquire. Then when you get there, you come back with shame. This sister that is giving prayer point is the problem of the family. But in the church, they coordinate themselves and bring out one atomic missile prayer point that can even make you destroy nations. Do you know how we look like? Just like you're a soldier and you have your gun armed and everything in place, and somebody say, criminal, criminal, and you shoot. Who made him a criminal? Which court of competent decision? Who made him a criminal? How do you know he's a criminal? Do you write criminal on the face? Then because you possess the arms, you shoot, and the person dies, come to court. So because you are a military officer or you have your gun, just as a believer that have the power in the name of Jesus, you don't shoot anyhow. You must make your searching. You must investigate. You must make your finding before you raise any judgmental prayer against anybody. Don't just pray because you are in the tune to pray, or somebody gave you false information and then you begin to pray. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. Check out Jesus. Check out the apostles. They devote themselves into the gospel message. Into the gospel message. Fair hearing, or somebody told you about your wife. I got your wife somewhere. I got your wife this place. And you went home and started beating your wife. I say you have not eaten food again because somebody... Have you made your findings? How sure are you the person is right? Why take action where you have not made your findings? Why should you listen to somebody else? or you had your child did this. Have you taken that time to investigate the matter before you take action? What made you a human being is your ability to fair hearing. Don't just listen from one ear. Make sure that your assurance is double sure. Make sure you have your research. Make sure you have your result. You have in the law court, don't just bring fable story. You must have your evidence. Prayers are, Bible says, bring forth your strong reason. That means you don't just come to God with a hearsay. I had. That one is in different aspects. When it comes to judgment, don't come anorum. Anorum. If you enter law court with I hear, say you go to prison. If you come to God with I hear, you must confirm. Bible says approaching the throne with boldness. Don't just come shivering based on lies and fables, based on rumors. Have your documents, have your findings. In the government, they set panel. Abakari did this. Hush Puppy gave Abakari money. Why is Abakari today? They are still investigating. They are investigating. You don't just hear from one side. You listen from here, set a good panel, and it takes time. Then before you give your verdict. A prophet said, my mother is a witch. A prophet said, my uncle is killing me. Have you verified if it's true before launching that attack against your blood? You see me, one thing I don't take hearsay. I have too many things to worry about. So what is my own? I have so many things to worry about. Why should you even get involved in hearsay? What is that? You have issues to solve. Why are you idling around? But what I'm telling you is, fair hearing is the mother of judgment. Fair hearing is justice. Fair hearing is judgment. Don't destroy someone because you're an authority. You must hear. Not just hearing, absolute investigation. Remember, he that fights the innocent is fighting God. Whether believer or unbeliever. Whether a person is a believer or not. As long as he is a human being, has blood still running in the veins. Even if you're fighting innocent spirits, it's also a problem because you can fight innocent spirits. Investigation, fair hearing gives you upper hand in the spiritual realm. You have your own opinion, but I think what I said is also truth. Because many people today are passing through allegation. If you have not gone through allegation, you won't understand what I'm talking about. If you have not gone through allegation, you won't understand what I'm talking about. If they have not given you a high load of allegation, what you don't even think of, what you didn't even think about, and you hear it, it feels like suicide. So if it pains you, you must give somebody else listening ear. You must give somebody else listening ear. I've had people come to me and say, this person said, this person said. I delete you. I delete both you and your story. I delete you because you are telling me what the person said. Which one? When the person told you, what did you say? You will not talk that one. You will not say the one. Nobody have ever said the one they said. If somebody said, somebody said. When the person said all these things, what did you say? You will not complain that one. So what I do, after you complain to me, I will invite that person. Or I will call the person, look at what I heard this person said. Is it true? Then the person will now give you the real gist that this person that came first is even the nitty-gritty. Bible says, woe unto him that put his trust in man. Trust in every side, whether information. If man is giving information, Bible says, woe unto you. Make your research yourself. Make your findings. Pray, find that. Look well before you accuse anybody, before you take any decision. Whether upon if you're a boss, you have workers. Don't just act on what your wife told you. Don't just act on what your neighbor told you. Don't just act. I remember one time I used to sell for a woman many years ago. I used to sell for a woman. So when she's traveling, I carry her goods to the market to sell. So one of the days, I took the goods to the market. I was having stomach rolling. My stomach was running, so I was in pains. So from time to time, I will leave the shop. I will go to toilet. Are you with me? From like 10 minutes, 20 minutes, the stomach starts. I will leave the shop. I will walk down very far into the bush. I'll go and ease myself. I come back. Then one of the neighbor kept observing me. She thought I was hiding money. She thought I was going to buy things and hide it. She called the owner of the shop and told him that told her that I have finished the money. That I always leave the shop and go and buy things and hide. And it was later I had it. Nobody asked me, what is the problem? Why are you leaving the shop? Why were you leaving? I was having stomach problem. So I was going to ease myself over time. And she thought I was going to buy things. I'm going to spend money. If I sell, I will go and spend. But it was not, I didn't even think about that. It was because of the problem. And then they concluded I was spending money, I was eating money. And I didn't eat any money. I never ate any money. And they didn't ask me. It was, they now began to rumor around. They were talking. When I heard it, I said, that's it. That's where you are. They may have gone to their church now, raise a prayer point that this guy is eating our money. And the innocent 70-year-old men, they will start praying, Father, judgment, judgment, fire. All this prayer I've been praying, which one have been answered? Because you didn't want to sit down and look into your life if actually you are the problem. In many cases, after prayer, the prayer boomerangs on you. The effect comes on you. The negativity comes on you because of your inability to research very well. Bible says, the book of Lamentation 3 verse 38, he said, to subvert a man his cause, God approved not. Anybody at all. To kill a man without fair hearing is a error. To judge a man without fair hearing is wickedness. To raise a prayer point against someone without hearing from the person, it is ignorance of the spiritual realms. High one, who be you whosoever. And many do it just to get congregation. Many do it just to raise, to prove that they are prophets. What made you a prophet is the ability to research, revelation, and prophetic hearings. That is what makes you a prophet. Hear from people. Don't just deduct. Or somebody brought you seed and say, with this money, kill my enemy for me. Kill my mother-in-law. I give God this seed. God, this woman is disturbing me. I give you this seed. Let her die in 7 days. You are killing her in 7 days. What if you are the cause of the problem? Because many women don't like their mother-in-law. Many women want their mother-in-law dead. So you are raising prayer point against her. All mother-in-law, they love their children. Even if the one is married, you are seeing their child. So if a woman comes and is not doing the way they want, they start fighting. Even though there's some that are very, very bad. But my point is, when you are giving seed against your mother-in-law, I think you know the consequences. If God goes there and finds her innocent, he returns to you. If you don't fear your own prayer point, then your prayer is weak. If you are not afraid of your own prayer point. If you want to test if your prayer works, use yourself as a yardstick. Say, Father, any day I sin against you, let me die. Pray it. And check how potent your prayer is. One of the ways to check a bomb is to use the water. So use yourself as a yardstick. That prayer I've been praying, want to check if your prayer is powerful. Use yourself. Father, if I have stolen from anybody before, if I have gossiped anyone, let my business catch fire. When you pray it, and then it is not, and you check yourself, use yourself as a yardstick to check your prayer point. Stop using other people, even without due hearing, without fair hearing. Somebody said fair hearing is the real justice. That is it, sir. That is it. It's the real justice. I have seen so many things. You see me, tears doesn't move me. You came to me, you're weeping, and you're crying. After your tears and crying, we will investigate the matter. Because those that cry too much, they are always at fault. That it's not even as cries like that. Like me, I don't cry. So that I am tear drought does not mean I am always guilty. That you cry too much doesn't make you justified. So after you finish shedding your tears, we will still investigate the matter. If you are guilty, you take punishment. We will even punish you for crying on top of your guilty. Think about it. If you raise a prayer, I don't pray every prayer point I see you. If you come to my phone, you see many prayer points. I know pray. I have to investigate the prayer before I pray. I don't waste my prayers. Because they don't know that somebody somewhere is also praying against you. Yes, now. Somebody somewhere is praying against you. So as you pray against somebody without fair hearing, somebody is also praying against you without fair hearing. Or they reported your matter to your pastor, to your bishop, or to anybody. And they start, that is your case. You must be you whosoever. You must sit and listen from the parties. When there is need for evidence, let it be brought. You think God is moved by seed, or moved by your tithe, or moved by your offering. Now your church, they eat the offering and tithe. God doesn't eat tithe and offering. God is the God of justice and mercy. By him, actions are weighed. Are you getting me? By God, every action is weighed. That through your character and your attitude, somebody left your church. Through your character, somebody backslided, and tomorrow you are praying against the person. God will kill you first because you are the cause. That's why you need to sit down. Sit down. Before you judge any matter or pray against any matter, sit down first. Look at it carefully before you start. Don't just open your mouth and start talking what you know. No, it doesn't work like that. Fair hearing puts you in the vantage point to shoot. Fair hearing. When devil reported men to God, before I sign off, listen. When devil reported men to God, you know what God said? God said, come ye, let's reason together. God was looking for a fair hearing. Even after all the things he see, all the things he saw, he said, come, let us reason together. By the way, even if your sin be as dark or as red, I will cleanse it. Imagine. Even when Sodom and Gomorrah, when their sin came to God as a memorial, God didn't kill them. He had to send messengers. He gave them last opportunity, which they didn't use anyway. Even Noah, in the time of Noah, God had to send a messenger. Even Jesus came here as a fair hearing. Another word for Christ is fair hearing. Even after Christ have died, God still said, if anybody will accept him, you will no longer die. There's a fair hearing in all these things. Fair hearing. Don't just judge. When Christ was with the woman of Samaria, people were talking. They were talking. Jesus knew what he saw in that woman. Fair hearing. How can a woman suffer from what he didn't know? That your village and my village are fighting. Your parents and my parents are fighting. What is my? Was I the one fighting you? Why should I suffer for what I don't know? The woman of Samaria, whether they are Osu or women, what concern the woman? These are things that we had done before she was birthed. Christ said that is need for fair hearing. Listen to two parties, deduct your conclusion, and then wait a minute. When you are angry, after typing that text message, please delete it. When you are angry over something somebody did to you, you are angry, you are upset. Please, after typing that message you want to type, after typing it, please delete that message. Don't send it because you're angry, because you will regret that thing you sent. You want to post something online out of anger. Please, after typing it, delete it until you are in the right frame of mind. The best time to send message is when you are in your high level of love. That's when best to send message. When love prevails, then send message. Not with anger, not with malice. Whenever you feel loved, whenever you feel excitement, whenever you feel love, then send message. that's when you get the rightful words, you get the rightful words to type, you know. But when you are angry, you can even misinterpret, you can even misspell some things because you're angry, just to hit it like that. And then when you reconcile with the person, how will you retrieve the one you have already sent? Fair hearing is God, and God is fair hearing. God bless you. I am Pruna Onyeka. Oh, Onyeka.